So we are at, oh, you can't switch this around. Which means today we're going to talk to you about some important and useful university words. That's coming up. We are visiting and just kind of doing a little tour around the University of California. So we thought it'd be a good time to not only show you a little bit of the campus, but talk to you about some words that you might encounter if you're going to attend university or if you're having a conversation about education in general.
Yeah, I think they're very useful words that are related to university, so they don't have to be like, oh, I'm going to university, I need to know these words, but just part of your general knowledge.
In the distance there, you can see the Golden Gate Bridge. The one thing that I think is crazy about universities here is just the cost.
Oh, the tuition cost?
The cost is insane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's a good word to know.
Yeah, so tuition, if you're wondering what tuition means, it is the cost of your education, your classes, but it's really just your classes, and so it doesn't include books, or it doesn't include
and you're talking
living or anything.
You're talking about the cost for 1 year typically. So the cost of 1 year, they would say,
one semester,
the
whatever.
tuition, it's this much, and they're talking about 1 year. But another, a great thing that is sometimes available would be a scholarship. And a scholarship is another great word to know that it's kind of, you get some benefit, some financial benefit to help cover some of the cost of tuition, or even cover the entire cost. I've never benefited in receiving a scholarship.
No?
No. What, have you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it wasn't enough.
What was your favorite thing about university?
Oh my goodness. So I'm a little bit of a dork. I like learning, so obviously the class.
Loser.
The library.
That's not what university's for.
I know, but I loved it. I loved learning because here you could choose. So I know it's not in every country, but in the US you can choose your classes.
And what are those called?
They're not called electives.
Yeah, electives. That's another good word. You can choose electives, or well, those are the classes that you're not necessarily required to take, but you can, if you want to learn something, you can study those.
But even the classes that are required, you could choose here. You have some choices. Anyway, but because you could choose them here, I liked all of mine. So that was my favorite part about college.
That was my favorite part too. The classes, the books.
Are you lying?
The reading, the exams.
Are you lying?
Definitely.
Do you remember which one was your favorite year? Was it freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior?
I'd say I think I had the most fun freshman year.
Why?
Well, no, just the new experience. We're living in you're living with a bunch of people in the dorms, which that's another good word. A dorm or dormitory is just the student housing where a lot of the students would live together. So yeah, freshman year, first year in university, probably I think my most memorable. And then it seems like as each year went by, I tried to get a little more serious. Why? What was yours?
I think mine was the junior year because
And which is the junior year?
it's the third year of university. Here in the US you have 4 years. The first is the freshman, second is sophomore, then you have junior is the third, and then senior is the last one.
Yeah. And a lot of times I think people would just say that. They wouldn't say this is my third year, they just say, oh, I'm a junior.
Yeah.
So if they say I'm a junior, then you know it's their third year. Senior, then it's fourth year. Sophomore is the second year, and freshman is first.
So I think a lot of people usually say, oh, like the senior year is our favorite because you're finishing, but it's actually a very stressful year you have to figure out what you're gonna do with your life.
That's when, yeah.
So that's why I like the junior year more, where you have like you already know what life is like. You already have like expectations of, and you know your classes and things are more familiar. But at the same time, you still can chill a little bit, and you don't have to worry about your life for another year, which is nice. It's nice. So if you're in college, take advantage of it. Another important word for university, very important word, is major, and Wes is going to tell you what it means.
Oh, am I?
Yes.
So the major is basically your focus of study at university. So some people might major in engineering, they may major in business or history. There's all different types of majors at universities, but it's your main focus of study is your major. And when you enter your major, you might have to take some prerequisites, or there might be some prerequisites, which we'll tell you about then. Tell them about that one.
So prerequisites are classes that you have to take before being able to take another class. For example, if you can't just sign up for advanced chemistry because the materials that are going to be covered in that class are going to be too difficult if you've never taken chemistry before. So you have to take, like elementary chemistry and intermediate chemistry, and those would be the prerequisites to advanced chemistry.
Yeah, and it can also be used outside of university too, that in order to do something, there is a prerequisite, something you have to do before.
Yeah. You never told us what your major was.
My major was business management.
Business management?
My major in undergrad was business management, and then I got my MA in TESOL.
I don't know if that counts as a major though. I think it's just in university.
Just a Master of Arts, yeah.
If you could go back to college with the mind you have today, would you choose a different major, or would you choose the same one? Why are you yawning at my question?
It's a very boring question. I don't know. I think I would want to be I definitely want to study languages more. Now I don't know if I would do that as a major or a minor, which is another good one. A minor would be like the major is your primary focus. A minor would be like your secondary focus. And you have to take a certain number of classes, courses to get the minor. But I think I would have liked to have studied more, languages, and I don't know. I liked having a business focus to it. I think I would have done something else in business, maybe like finance or entrepreneurship or.
But you like business?
Yeah. Why? What about you?
Well, I had one major and two minors, since you talked about minors. My major at the time was history.
Sorry, I keep yawning.
Oh my god, yeah. It was history.
Not that I don't find that interesting.
Anyway, I won't tell you my minors.
No, what are they? Don't tell me. Tell them. Tell them.
The one of them was art history, and the other one was Central and Eastern European studies. They're all connected, really. But today, if I could if I could go back to university today, I don't know. I feel like I do something totally different. Like I do like psychology or something.
What about teaching?
Maybe. I don't know why I thought I said psychology. I don't even want to be. I don't know. It's just like
you just said because we saw the building back there.
We passed by the psychology building.
We did pass by the psychology building. Psychology building.
No, I don't know. I loved history, so it's very hard for me to choose anything else.
I think that's the other thing. I mean, there's so much focus in university, and if you're a student, people are like, oh, what major are you going to choose? And then once you get out of school, I think so many people just don't do anything related to what they studied.
Yeah.
And we're teachers.
Yeah.
Although as we grow this channel and do this, business is relevant.
It is. So is history.
Trying to develop a business here.
Just to a human being.
Is history relevant?
To my knowledge, every day as a person.
Hello. Where are we going?
We're gonna look at the oldest building on campus. Are you filming me again? Mm-hmm. Well, so I was gonna say that for America, this is a really old building. So behind me you can see one of the most iconic images of UC Berkeley, which is the Sather Gate. It's just like another one of the entrances, I guess.
It's just a gate?
It's just a gate. I don't know, but if you look up UC Berkeley on Google Images, you'll see that image right there.
When I would go back, and if I'm walking around a university, just seeing how young everybody looks. I don't know what they think. I don't think they think we're students. Maybe we're faculty? I don't know.
No, but that's a good word to know.
That is a good word, yeah, faculty.
No, I feel like faculty looks a little bit more serious. Like they're dressed up.
We don't look professional?
No.
What?
So faculty, what it is just another word that's obviously used around the university campus, and just in these kinds of circles, it just means professors. So any kind of professors teaching you something, teachers. But in university, you don't say teachers, you say professors or faculty.
Another position, which if you're a student, you might hear in the classroom, is TA. If somebody's talking about a TA, that just stands for teaching assistant. And they're the ones in the classroom that are helping the professors and teaching sometimes, and
they're usually graduate students who are doing their PhDs or
grading
something.
papers, yeah.
And it's part of their training.
So you're probably gonna have a TA at some point. I don't know.
Well, in America, you have these 400 student classes that are so big. So many times they have TAs to help with grading, to help with...
And that's another good word.
A lecture, yeah.
Yeah, so if you're having a lecture class, then yeah, it's just with a large number of students, and they gather together for the class, and the professor would just give a presentation, they would give a lecture.
Right, it's not like interactive most of the time. It's not like, very rarely they ask questions to the students and so on. They just like go up there and start
Go
talking.
up there and blah, 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 and the lecture's over. I think another good word when thinking about university, a lot of people, you'll hear the word academia. And when talking about academia, it's like, how would you describe it? Like just the kind of the lifestyle that's here?
It's connected to higher education, to schools, to learning.
Yeah.
Academics are
How did I define it on the paper there?
life,
There.
community, or world of teachers, schools, and education.
There you go, that's it. When people think of university, you kind of maybe live in a bubble a little bit because you're so focused on everything that's happening around the university, or that's where your life is so involved that...
Yeah, like your school, your classes, your...
Yeah, you are just in academia, or you are part of academia.
Some people spend their whole lives as part of academia. Like if they go to university, then they go do their PhDs, and then they become professors, and that's kind of people who...
That's hard. Sorry, what were we talking about?
Academia. I hope you guys enjoyed our tour of UC Berkeley.
Yeah, learn some new words along the way, maybe?
Maybe we convinced you to come here.
And now we want to hear from you guys, so just in the comments, just say hello, tell us about your university experience, anything that you want to say, we just love hearing from you. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. So what do you think of the University of California?
Who are you talking to?
Why do you feel old? Oh, jeez, watch my step.
I think they think that we're like the parents of students.
We're just
touring
lost.
the campus. Yeah.